YouTube.
Hey.
How you guys doing? We're back.
Welcome back to the channel.
And today we're going to be talking about a little bit of Okinawa and just being overseas, how it is.
Yes, so we're very excited to finally come to you and explain what it was like living overseas for 3 years.
The ups and the downs.
We moved out here at age 21. Both of us were 21. We had just gotten married. We were only about 3 months into our marriage. No kids. So it has been a life-changing experience. So we want to share with people who are going to live overseas, who are young, or even if you're just going to live overseas, some different tips and things, and just our experience and what we think might help you as you start your new journey. And this beautiful island, it is really a beautiful island. There are things to do, but because it is so small, after a certain amount of time, you start to feel like you've done everything, especially if you're not set to one thing that you want to do, and if you're explorers like we are. So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started on our tips and just, I guess, our experience. What is something you want to say, babe?
So for me, because like just growing up, I'm used to just moving around a lot. It definitely felt kind of claustrophobic, just being on an island. I know I could leave the island, I could go do this, go do that, but just being on the island, just knowing I could drive 30 minutes or whatever minutes that way, I'll be on the opposite side of the island. It was kind of just weird, I guess.
Because you're not going too far.
Exactly. So, and you kind of, obviously there's tons of things to do out here. I'm not going to say there isn't anything to do, but I feel like after we've done so many things, I was kind of just like, okay, kind of over it in a
pretty
sense.
much everything. Yeah, we pretty much did everything. For me, I guess the hardest part was the resources. So there are resources, not to say there aren't, but there are not as many as if you're from the United States. There is a ton of different resources and a ton of different things that you can do. And so because out here it's a lot different, and even the custom and the cultures, and maybe I just felt that way because I'm not from here, but to me, it just was a lot. Another thing I want to expose or talk about is the food. Oh my gosh.
Now, on the opposite side, the food is amazing. I've never had a better McDonald's. I don't think ever in my life. They have great sushi, great grilling places. There's one spot called Yakiniku's.
Yakiniku going.
It's amazing.
On 330, I think it is.
Amazing.
It is our favorite place, favorite spot, will probably always be. And so we definitely recommend that place. But along with food, so and you kind of got to know what your taste is and what you're into, because there are some good places and there's some hit or misses. And then two, there are some general or very specific places where you're thinking, oh, this is going to taste like back at home or this or that. Well, it's not going to be exactly like that. So you have to keep an open mind. That's another tip I would say. Keep an open mind for being out here, because it's based off of, it's their, I guess kind of interpretation. It's their version of Jamaican or gumbo and stuff like that. Because they do have those kind of places out here too. So it just really, you gotta keep an open mind for sure when it comes to the food. Another part with the food, real quick, is groceries are extremely expensive, and everybody you'll know that.
Mostly because everything has to be imported, so it takes a little bit longer. It takes more money. It's just a longer process for the most part. I will say that with more so the fast food restaurants, more than anything, you will notice how much more pride they take in the making of the food and serving you, whereas in the States they're just take the food, you know what I mean? So I definitely would appreciate that a little bit more.
Let's see.
Food.
Cars. Let's talk about cars.
Okay, so there's goods and there's bads about the cars here. The good side is cars out here are very cheap, very very cheap. You could buy a car that'll last you years for like $1,000, probably less than that.
$1,500.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And they actually run very well.
When I first got here, we bought a car for $1,500. I didn't sell it until a few months ago. So it definitely will last you the test of time. Very reliable. The bad side, you want to go?
So, well, the bad side is sometimes things happen. So the cars can either fall apart or like with the JCI, depending on, because the cars are older and have been on the island for a long time, they tend to fall apart.
Hence older cars.
So that can be a bad side to it. Like if you get a lemon, for me, I should say, I've gone through 1, 2,
a few.
3.
You don't have to say a whole number. You don't have to say a whole number over
Well,
here.
there are a few cars that, I had some issues with. So we're not
going to... There's a few,
So, and then I also did have an accident out here.
Yeah. So, I mean, to each his own. We never went to a car dealership. We went to a car dealership as soon as we got here.
And they wanted us to pay
And they wanted to hustle us so bad.
Yeah, not $3.
So, yeah, we definitely, that brought a bad taste in our mouth,
We canceled that.
Yeah, we shut that down immediately. And after that, we just got on like one of the apps on our phones to find some sort of, who's selling in our neighborhood or whatever the case may be. And it worked out fine for us.
Yeah.
So that's cars.
Another thing is there is a ton of like free things and stuff that you can do here. And like with their holidays and trying to figure that out. And oh my gosh, another thing with that is even how in a society they are. So for example, they open for breakfast and lunch and will probably close like right after lunch, and then they may or may not open back up for dinner. So some places are like that, and then they close on like Mondays and Tuesdays, or
it's almost like you gotta roll the dice to see
like
it
just you really gotta. So that was different for us because in the States typically I feel like it's the opposite. Like we do like weekends or things, like Chick-fil-A close on Sunday, that kind of thing. Where out here to them it's like the Monday Tuesday kind of thing, which is kind of different. That's for us. That was different. It was hard to kind of adjust because that was different. So
also for the food wise, the portions are a lot smaller than you would think.
Yes.
So a large would probably be like a medium in the States. Just something to be aware of. You might have to order multiple, whatever. If you
eat a lot,
yeah. Also the clothes. The clothes come in one size smaller at least.
Yeah, they fit differently.
Yeah, they fit different. So if you're a bigger person,
I probably would either buy ahead of time or purchase. You're gonna have to get comfortable with online, which that kind of sucks. But yeah, definitely looking forward to getting clothes that we can,
not worry about nothing. That's neither here nor there. But overall, how would you say, if you were to rate this like a B, C, D, F, being out here?
Oh, I thought you were going to do numbers.
No.
Like 1 through 10.
Gotcha. No. If you rate this like a grading scale, what would
so you mean grade it, not rate it.
Say?
Rated is like 1 through 10.
I said grade it.
Oh, I heard.
I said grade it.
Okay, if I were to grade this experience, I would say B+.
B+. Okay.
What about you?
For me,
You gonna say like F?
I would say no. I'm not gonna say no F. I would say like a strong C.
Like real close to a C+?
No, more closer to C-, but C. You know what I mean?
So a low C, not a solid C.
That's still solid. It's just closer to low. It's closer to the minus. But mostly because it was just, I don't know, it was very different. I wasn't prepared for what I got. I guess one of the biggest things was just the language barrier, and I guess the culture was just so different. But if you're flexible that way, it shouldn't be that hard for you. But for me, it was just kind of like, I was kind of shocked in certain things they did.
That reminds me, keep hand sanitizer with you because in some places they don't really have soap, or if they do, it's a bar of soap, and to me that's gross. So you just got done going to the bathroom, and then now you're gonna have to wash your hands with this bar of soap that other people have used after they use the bathroom. It's not for me. They also have the different kinds of toilets, like the bidet. And then they also have the one that's actually in the floor where you have to squat.
There's a hole in the ground.
Not fun, especially if you're a woman. Men, I feel like it's really easy because you just, you gotta aim, but I don't know. So
work on them squats.
Let's see. What are the top things that you would say people should do?
Should do?
Yes.
Mario Karting, definitely 100%. That's probably one of the best events I've had coming out here. Mario Karting is pretty much which is pretty much like Mario Kart. You dress up in these characters and you just go driving in the middle of the streets. Completely legal over here. It's kind of dangerous, to be honest, because our experience was a little bit wild. You want to talk about it? Or?
Oh yeah, we can. So we went for my birthday, and that was like the first year we got here.
Stuff always happens on your birthday, ain't that something?
Yeah.
That's not a here nor there.
Something, isn't it? Well, anyways, so we went and we were driving. So you're driving on the actual road, and so what happened was
traffic.
We were in traffic, and he basically almost got hit by a bus and a taxi because you're in the actual road.
I'm saying,
it's kind of dangerous, but it's not that dangerous. You'll be fine. You can't have kids with you. Everybody has to be driving like adult. I think it's only 18 and up. I'm not sure.
Somebody with their driver's license, and you have to.
You do have to have the driver's license.
Also, if you go on this, do not put on a hat. Don't put on glasses. Don't put on anything that would fly off. That's kind of obvious, right? One would think that. But
he's saying that because I had and our friend, he had a hat as well. So we all had both of us had hats on. Mine flew into traffic, and we never saw it again.
I saw it because she was right in front of me, so it almost hit me in the face, and I went to get it, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not getting that hat."
You should have got it.
No, either me flipping over for a hat. I'm like, no, that's not.
And so our friend, his fell off. But
it fell on the back of the car.
Yes. So later on, after we got back, he looked and he was like, "Oh, it's right here." And I was like, I was upset because mine was long gone.
Yeah,
probably a taxi rolled over it, all that. So It is what it is. I think my number one thing that I would say to do is probably the zip lining, which is probably crazy for me. So,
you didn't want to do it at all.
Exactly. So I did not want to do that, but I did it. We did Forest Adventure Park for ziplining, and that was a breathtaking experience for sure. So those are that's my top one, and that's his top one.
That was actually pretty cool too. Honestly.
But I don't want the video to go too long, so I will have us do a top 10. Or something of places you should go or things you should do while you're out here. Sound like a plan? I think that sounds like a plan.
It sounds good. Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and cut this. Hopefully we've provided some good tips and things. If you want to know more, please let us know. We'll be happy to share.
Hit that comment section. You already know.
Yeah. So once again, this is Smith's checking out, and we'll see you guys later.
Deuces. Peace.